Nithyananda everyone, welcome back to the Samadhi Darshan. So now we'll be moving into the glimpses of the glorious past on this day, 27th July. So starting with the year 2006, on this day, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism from the date 27 to 30th July, including this date also, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, conducted the Nithyananda Sphurna program at Salem, delivering incisive talks and powerful techniques. He took the 1500 participants through the deep experiences and transformation. The following are the pictures from this grand event, and these are the photos taken from the day one of that program. Moving to the next year, the year of 2012, and on this day, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism expounded on the Kailasa, the spiritual energy center of the universe, and also the breathing space of Lord Paramashiva himself. So let us listen from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself.
सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् ज्ञानसम्बन्धाचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. I welcome you all with my love and respects. We are all in the breathing space of Shiva, Mahadeva. We are in the land of Mahadeva, Shiva, to experience him, to experience Shiva. Please understand, the word Shiva in Sanskrit means causeless auspiciousness, the reasonless auspiciousness, which is the source behind the existence, which is the force behind the existence. This force assumed human form also and moved in the planet Earth. This land is the land where the source assumed the human body and moved around in the planet Earth. And when a divine assumes the human frame, it can any time go back to the higher frequency and reside in that formless state, or reduce the frequency again, assume the human frame. Mahadeva has done thousands of leelas by assuming the human body and again relaxing into the formless energy. This area, this part, this land is the space where he assumes the human body, performs the extraordinary miracles, and again relaxes into the formless energy. Force becoming form, form again becoming force, happens in this very land, Kailasa. Kailash is the mitochondria of macrocosm. Please understand, How? Mitochondria is the energy component of your cell, which is responsible for life in microcosm, your human body, human frame. Kailash is the mitochondria for the macrocosm, the whole cosmos. Kailash is the spiritual center of the whole universe. You guys are blessed, chosen few, not by anybody else, by yourself. Understand, all chosen fews are chosen by themselves. Blessed are those who choose themselves among the chosen few. You guys have choose to be in the chosen few. You guys are blessed and fortunate to be in the breathing space of Mahadeva, Shiva. Melt. Melt like the snow on the Kailash. Pour yourself on him. This is the place, the place for enlightenment. Understand? This is the place for enlightenment. To experience the universal oneness with the cosmos, where Mahadeva is radiating the superconsciousness. Shiva's presence is vibrant, alive in everything. If I were to describe in one word this whole journey, the whole journey will be a long, unbroken meditation experience. You are not going to be meditating. Meditation is going to be doing you. Because the whole space is breathing Shiva. What will you do? Just relax into this space. The space of Mahadeva, space of Shiva. Radiate that costless auspiciousness in your being. It is not just a pilgrimage. I tell you, it is not some journey to some place. It is inner journey. Literally, you will go through the transformation. Tremendous transformation. Let the Mahamantra, Namah Shivaya, be continuously vibrating in your presence. Let this Mahamantra, Namah Shivaya, be filling your whole being. From the time immemorial, all the great masters visited this Kailash. Many of them left their body in Kailash. I can say Kailash is more than 100,000 enlightened masters Jiva Samadhi, means the living tomb of at least 100,000 enlightened masters. From Buddha to Adi Shankara, all masters visited here. Adi Shankara also came to Kailash. Only during that time he established the Agamic Vedic way of worship in Kathmandu Pasupatinath temple. Adi Shankara has a unique way of uniting the country. He brought the priests from Karnataka and established them in Pasupatinath temple. Even today, the priests from Karnataka Brahmins do puja in Pasupatinath temple. And North Indian Brahmins do puja in Rameshwaram temple. Kerala priests do puja in Kedarnath. And Badrinath, in both the places. Adi Shankara has a unique way of uniting the country. Kailash is the place Adi Shankara received the 5 Shivalingas from Shiva, and Kailash is the place he was in the Abheda Bhava, Advaita Bhava, one with Shiva, and described the glory of Devi in Saundarya Lahari.
Moving to the next year, the year of 2013. And on this day, through this video, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism expressed that Hinduism is an evolutionary, completion-based religion that has already developed the science that will set a standard for what philosophies will be useful for the future of the society. He cautioned us to be aware of the philosophies that lack inspiration, telling us that there is only one answer, one instruction, and in their generalization, the truth is lost. So let us listen more from Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
I welcome you all with my love and respects. Today I'll expand on the spontaneous completion through creation, Srishti Purnatva. In Sanskrit, I'll name this as Srishti Purnatva. Yesterday night, I was going through Sankhya, some of the Sankhya works. Don't ask how I was going through. I was shocked. The whole Sankhya doesn't speak about God because completion itself was given the place of God. Methodology to reach the godliness was given the place of God. Please understand. Sankhya doesn't have the system of God because the methodology to reach the God itself given the place of God. It is Sankhya formed the basis for Buddhism. In Buddhism also, there is no God. The methodology to reach God is made as God. Methodology to reach God made as God. Please listen. It's a kind of a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. Methodology to reach God is made as God. It's a new way of thinking. There are only two religions in the world. One sees God as something outside and gives you the methodology to reach God. Another one, tradition, the methodology to reach God itself is made as God. There are only two types of religions in the planet Earth. Whether the methodology is worshipped as God or a separate God is worshipped. Whether Buddha is important or Dhamma is important. And I tell you, in the beginning, the methodology to reach God should be worshipped as God, but in the end you will know the experience is far beyond unimaginable. It can't even be compared with the methodology. You can't compare the menu card with food. Menu card may have photograph of the food you are going to be served, but menu card can't be compared with the food. But menu card is required for you to get the right food. It's a strange relationship. But unfortunately, human mind goes on behaving with violence. Tell me one thing. Violence always asks for, tell me one thing. Not having patience to study the whole thing. For mass, you always have to generalize. When you generalize, always the truth is lost. One barber asked Mullah Nasruddin, how did you lose your hair? Mullah replies, worry. The barber asks, what did you worry about? Mullah Nasruddin says, about losing my hair. Your worry makes you lose your hair, and in turn, you are worrying about losing the hair. It's a vicious circle, see. Same way, you are forced to generalize because human mind is filled with violence. People are forced to generalize because human mind is filled with violence, and people ask, tell me one thing. I have always seen people ask for instructions are most violent people. Why they ask for instruction? So that they can miss the spirit and carry on with the letter. Listen. If you want to live the spirit, you will not ask for exact instruction. When you ask for exact instruction, you are working around how to miss the spirit. सांख्य और बौद्ध संप्रदायों में भगवान है ही नहीं, पूर्णत्व की कार्य प्रणाली ही भगवान है। I could see the whole compassion of Kapila. I know for sure he is the first man who started thinking. Till then, thinking was not part of the humanity. The first human being who started thinking is Kapila. Listen. You need to come to the space of listening. Please come to the space of listening so that you internalize this great truth. The religions which makes separate God as some advantage and disadvantage, religions which make the path towards godliness and God as a religion as some advantage and disadvantage. Both of them have some advantage and disadvantage. What exactly I want to do? I want you to understand the mental setup of asking any one final instruction is a violence, so drop and learn to understand the whole. Path towards God is need to be treated as God in certain level, and the experience of God is totally different from the path. You need to understand this at one level. You can neither say this is important nor say that is important. That asking or expecting, thinking only one can be important is violence. Come out of that mental setup. I have seen whenever my sannyasis ask, give one instruction, we will follow. I know they are caught in violence. Only violence as instruction without inspiration. A violent person cannot be inspired, he can only be instructed. If any religion gives you the manual, be very clear. That religion is born from violence, will continue to flourish in violence. Bhagavad Gita, nowhere you will see instruction. Rarely one or two lines. But the whole 700 verses is all about inspiring and giving intelligence. Nowhere you will see instruction. You see the very funny thing. Arjuna was supposed to fight, but he is being taught how to meditate. Dhyana Yoga, one full chapter is there. And he is being taught Sankhya. And he is being taught the great different aspects of sannyasa. Sannyasa yoga, karma sannyasa yoga, jnana karma sannyasa yoga. Very funny. See, Arjuna says in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, leave me, I am going and becoming a sannyasi. But Bhagavan says, no, wait. He catches him. He asks him to fight. When Arjuna is asking, why should I? How can I? When he is asking all these questions, Bhagavan is suddenly telling about sannyas, how to become a great sannyasi. See the whole thing, I tell you. This is the beauty of Hinduism. No single instruction. Because the mental setup asking for single instruction is from violence. Only violent mind believes only one thing can be in top. Only one thing can be ultimate. Only one instruction can be ultimate instruction. Why? Because you feel only you should be alive or the other fellow should be alive. The mentality of the fighting, violence, always excludes. One, only one. No, that is not even required. The root of the problem should be solved. The root of the problem is asking for only one as ultimate is nothing but the mentality of a fighter. See, only in the fight, who is the winner? Top. And the survival instinct, who is the winner? Only one. In the survival instinct, no question of coexisting. But anything which talks about one, only one, is out of survival instinct. Fortunately, even the Advaita philosophy never talks about one. It only says no duality. Advaita, it does not say egatva. Understand the difference? It only says Advaita. No duality, but it does not say egatva, single. One. Only one should be. The concept, the idea itself is from violence. The root pattern of that asking for one instruction, one in the top, is the root pattern of violence. Understand? Bhagavan is not against Arjuna's sannyas. He says, go to sannyas out of completion. Bhagavan is only trying to do one thing. Out of completion, take any decision. Out of completion, take any decision. मैं कहता हूँ भगवान तक पहुंचने की कार्य प्रणाली को भगवान मानना चाहिए, किंतु जब आप भगवान का वास्तविक रूप अनुभव करते हैं, आप देखेंगे कि वो अनुभव कार्य प्रणाली से ऊपर एक बिल्कुल. Kapila doesn't talk elaborately about God, but talks about the methodology to reach God. He feels, what is the use of telling how the idli will taste and how it will look and how the dosa will taste and how it will look? Just let's serve them. Maybe Kapila is the real spiritual activist. ए समझिए भगवान तक पहुंचने का मार्ग और भगवान का प्रत्यक्ष अनुभव बिल्कुल अलग है, किंतु दोनों ही महत्वपूर्ण है. दोनों के कुछ लाभ हैं. जब आप केवल एक उपदेश की अपेक्षा रखते हैं, सीधे समझिए कि आप हिंसा में स्थापित हैं. इस एकत्व का मूल हिंसा है. I wanted you to understand, asking for single instruction itself is from the violence. And if the single instruction is given, that is again violence, encouraging your violence. Only inspiration should be given. I tell you, the first quality you should see before you pick up any philosophy, should I live this philosophy or not? The first quality is, in that philosophy, as per the philosophy, what is the introduction given about you to you? Second, was it single answer based philosophy or inspiration based philosophy? Inspiration based philosophies will never be single answer based philosophies, where you will be given a lot of understanding. Please understand, these two are very important. World is actually going to sit very soon. All the top religious leaders, spiritual leaders, theologians, philosophers, not for sitting and reconciling. Please understand, the age of reconciliation is over. With Vivekananda, the era of reconciliation is over. I am telling you, all the world leaders, thinkers are going to sit to find out which is the philosophy which should be actually followed, which is the philosophy which is going to make future of the planet very intelligent, bright, rich, blissful. Beyond the amount of money we have vested in the infrastructure of those philosophies and religions, and the teaching. Listen, now the planet Earth is functioning in such a way, all the infrastructure established for a particular ideology or the philosophy or the religion, based on that infrastructure and their capability to shout loud, decides which philosophy will be followed by human beings. But I tell you, all the theology schools should adopt the policy of universities, how the universities go on in search of truth. All the infrastructure and money vested in the university is not for promoting one idea. It is for constantly finding the truth, in search of truth. All the theology centers of all religions should adopt the principles of university. Soon the world is going to gather together to sit, to find out which is the philosophy most adaptable for the future of humanity without vested interests. I tell you, the future world religious congregations are not for reconciliation, for recognition of Vedic tradition. It is not for reconciliation. And I tell you, the reconciliation is the old idea. I am not against coexistence. I am all for coexistence. But not out of powerlessness. Not out of powerlessness. Krishna does not want Arjuna to become sannyasi out of powerlessness, shivering, shaking. And Arjuna says, "Oh Lord, leave me, I'll go and become sannyasi, I'll beg and eat." No, I tell you, this fellow would not have become sannyasi. He would have gone and asked the food in a royal way, "Hey, give me food." If somebody doesn't give, he would have picked up his arrow, bow and arrow, to shoot the person for his food. Because he became sannyasi out of powerlessness, not out of understanding or completion. All religious leaders are going to gather. The world religious congregations are going to happen, not for reconciliation anymore, but for recognition. Come on, teach the world and world religious leaders the scales to find what should be the scale with which we should measure which philosophy should be followed, which philosophy should be lived, which philosophy should be practiced. Let us discuss about the scale. I invite anyone. Come on, let us discuss about the fair scale. Let's put a scale first. Not the fantastical, poetical description given about God or the world. Because all those things are unreachable to you. The fantastic description, poetical descriptions about how God is and how God's place looks, who is his housekeeping in charge, who is his accommodation in charge, how to get your accommodation there. Anybody can sing all these fantasies. It takes only few hundred rupees of alcohol. If you pour the petrol, vehicle will move. If you pour alcohol, all these poetries will come. These fantastical theories and poetries of delusion and illusion is nothing but the smoke which comes from the exhaust pipe after you pour the petrol in car. Same way, after you pour the alcohol, the gas which comes out of you is this fantasy theories. Listen. We should develop a clear scale. Understand? Let us develop a very clear scale with which we will measure whether some of these philosophies should be followed or not. Which philosophy should be followed? The first scale is what introduction is given to you about you by any philosophy. That is the first step. What is the introduction given about you to you? Because I tell you, all philosophy finally ends in a vague, end. Philosophy does not have climax. Understand? Philosophy does not have climax. By the time your logic becomes tired, that is what is the climax. So don't think I will verify whether this philosophy is right or not by the end of the philosophy. No. By the end, your brain will be tired, your mind will be tired, you will be tired. Philosophies are successful when you are tired. No. It can never become, that cannot be the scale to verify whether to practice a philosophy or not. Whether to practice a philosophy or not, the scale should be the first line. What is the introduction you are given about you? How that philosophy cognizes you. At that point you should make the decision whether to go in or not. Because the cognition about the world, cognition about God, cognition about nature, even the cognitions about the path, everything is just nothing but the junk expressed out of analogies and comparisons. You can't destroy your life on somebody's capability to give analogies and comparisons. No, wake up. Don't waste your life. Don't be powerless in front of philosophers. They are the most dangerous people. They will exploit you. If you are powerless in front of your enemy, is he going to leave you alone? Is he going to be showing any grace for you? Is he going to be compassionate for you? No. Philosophers are more dangerous people than your enemies. Philosophers are the enemies of the world, enemies of the humanity. They are perverted mental thought. They are trying to establish it for more number of human beings. If more number of people are mad, madness is no more mad. If more number of people are mad, madness is no more madness. Infecting people with certain kind of madness is spreading a philosophy. Infecting people with certain kind of madness is spreading philosophies. No, first scale should be how you are cognized by the philosophy. That should be the scale to analyze whether you should follow that philosophy or not. If the philosophy starts with the right cognition, then it will naturally lead you to completion. See the brilliance of Krishna. The moment he opens his mouth, the first thing comes out of him is Sankhya Yoga. Not Advaita, Sankhya Yoga. I can be sure Krishna was filled. Krishna was filled by Kapila. Krishna is the greatest follower of Sankhya Yoga, Mahanirvani Pita. Because, please understand, when you are in crisis, the first few words you utter is the words with which you are solving your problems. When somebody asks you for advice, what will come up first? The words with which you are enriching you only will come out to enrich others. So, Krishna himself is not Bhakti Yogi. Bhakti Yoga comes only from his archives. From his table, only Sankhya Yoga comes. The books you have in your archives, you may be master of that. But the book you have in your table has mastered you. Understand? Books you have in the archives, you may be master of that. But the books you have on the table have mastered you. That is why they are occupying your table. They are master for you. The moment Krishna opens the mouth, and I can be sure Krishna was in more shock than Arjuna, because Krishna would have never seen this dimension of Arjuna shivering shaking. Krishna would have never seen that. When Krishna was slapped with a shock by Arjuna, that's the right description I'll give. Krishna wakes up and the first thing comes out of him is Sankhya. Sankhya. In Sankhya, you are recognized as a soul. The idea taught about you to you is you can't be cut by weapons, you can't be cut by any other way, you can't be burnt by fire, you can't be made wet by water, you can't be blown away by air. Nothing can do nothing to you. Nothing can be done to you by anything. Understand? An amazing introduction you are given about you. The moment Bhagavan opens the mouth, Nainam chintanti shastrani, Nainam dagati pavakaha, Nachaiman kletayantyabo, Nasoshayati marutaha. You can't be touched by anything. Bhagavan starts with Sankhya. Then he goes on explaining sannyasa, bhakti yoga, karma yoga, jnana yoga, raja vidya, rajaguhya yoga, kshetrajna vibhaga yoga. He goes on different yogas. Jnana vijnana yoga, shraddhatraya vibhaga yoga, moksha upadesha yoga. This all later comes. But the moment he opens his mouth, what comes out? Sankhya. Krishna is one of the greatest followers of Kapila. That is why, even when he describes his glory, see, for example, if you brag about yourself, you will brag yourself only about as the star of your times. See, naturally, the star of your times only you will remember and you will brag, see, I am like that. I am much more than that. So even when Bhagavan introduces himself, of course, he is not bragging about himself. When he is introducing about himself, he says, Siddhanam Kapilo Munihi. Among the great beings, complete beings, Siddha means complete. Among the complete beings, I am the Kapila. Means in Krishna's time, Kapila was the star of the spiritual world. That is why he remembers Kapila. अंडरस्टैंड, ध्यान से सुनिए। अद्वैत सिद्धांत एक ही प्रणाली का प्रोत्साहन नहीं करती है। अद्वैता का अर्थ है वो जो द्वैता की स्थिति में नहीं है, ना कि वो जो एकत्व में स्थापित है। जब आप किसी सिद्धांत को चुनना चाहते हैं, पहले यह देखिए कि वो सिद्धांत आपको स्वयं के बारे में क्या परिचय देता है? जो सिद्धांत निर्देश देते हैं ओह प्रेरणा पर आधारित नहीं होंगे बल्कि हिंसा पर आधारित होंगे। ध्यान से सुनिए, आने वाले विश्व धर्म सम्मेलन धर्मों की बीच संधि के लिए नहीं बल्कि हिंदू धर्म को मान्यता देने के लिए होंगे। तत्व ज्ञान का कोई अंत नहीं है, अंत में आपका दिमाग थक जाता है और इसीलिए उस तत्व ज्ञान को आप मान लेते हैं कोई सिद्धांत का मापदंड उसका अंत नहीं बल्कि उसका आरंभ है। वो सिद्धांत आपको स्वयं का क्या परिचय देता है। इसीलिए मैं कहता हूं कि तत्वज्ञानियों पर विश्वास ना कीजिए। सांख्य योग को देखिए, आपको स्वयं का क्या परिचय देता है कि आप एक अमर आत्मा है, आपको कोई कुछ नहीं कर सकता है। Understand, you are the only thing available immediately to you. God is not immediately available to you. Universe is not immediately available to you. You are the most immediately available to you. What idea is given to you about you by any philosophy will reveal the purpose of its existence. Did it come out of completion, and is it staying in completion? Is it leading people in completion? Is it leading people to completion? The introduction you are given about you is very important. Some philosophies teach you you are the sinner. Some philosophies teach you are the slave, you are supposed to be the follower. Even in Hindu religion, some philosophies started getting evolved by the influence of different religions and philosophies. Very late, maybe in last few thousand years, they also started developing the concept of I am your slave, oh Lord. No. I am very clear, they are not part of Hinduism. They are not original thought trend of rishis, our founding fathers. Our founding fathers, the rishis, original thought trend is out of completion. Bhagavan beautifully, Krishna beautifully says, Ashwataha sarva vrikshanam devarshinam chanarada gandharvanam chitrarada rataha siddhanam kapilo munihi. Of all the trees, I am the sacred banyan tree. Of divine sages, I am Narada. Of Gandharvas, I am Chitrarata. Of perfect, complete beings, I am Kapila. Understand how a philosophy introduces you to you should be the scale to follow some philosophy or not. O humanity, I commit with you. I will sincerely dedicate my time and work. Make all religious leaders, philosophers, theologians, I won't give up on them. I'll make them understand the right scale with which we should measure and decide what should be the future philosophy, which philosophy should be for the future of the humanity, which philosophy should be practiced for a better future of the humanity, which is the best philosophy which will make the future of the humanity best. Hindu religious leaders should spend their energy and time making this scale, the Hindu religious leaders should know they should put their energy and intelligence, time to make the world recognize Hinduism, make the world recognize, make the world understand. And I tell you, the Western world is open. All university-based countries will recognize what I am saying. The countries based on theology may not recognize, but the countries based on universities will recognize what I am saying. If a country is guided by theology schools or the country is guided by university, find out. All the countries guided by universities will accept what I am saying. The greatness of Hinduism is the first thinking man, Kapila, experienced completion. So it's a religion based on completion, not any revolution. It's a completion-based religion, not complication. It is not revolution-based religion. It is evolution-based religion. The world need to know. We need to develop a scale. Just like Western countries developed a scale for money. They developed a scale, dollar, euro, and they developed a scaling mechanisms, certifying mechanisms for diamond, country, for everything. I tell you, developing a scale for the strength of religion, scaling, measuring the religions and philosophies is the work of Hindu saints. It is our work. We will develop a scale, the standard measurement for what should be the philosophy, what should be the scale to measure, which philosophy should be followed, which theology should be lived, which principle should be lifestyle. They set a standard in many things. But the field of the inner world, we have worked a lot, we have dedicated our whole life. I tell you, the field of the philosophy, we should set a standard. We should set a standard. We should set a scale through which philosophy should be measured, whether it is useful for society or not. आपको स्वयं का क्या परिचय दिया जाता है, ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है। हमारे ऋषियों ने ध्याय धर्म पूर्णत्व पर आधारित है, हिंदू धर्म और वैदिक धर्म पूर्णत्व पर आधारित है, ना कि क्रांति पर आधारित है। धर्मों का मापदंड बनाना हिंदू संतों का कार्य है। And I tell you, I commit with humanity, oh humanity, I'll dedicate my life and I'll be successful. I'll make it. I'll make it. I'll make it. I'll make it. The essence of today's satsang have more understanding. Don't ask for single instruction. Live completion. Let you all achieve, experience, live, express, radiate, share and explode in eternal bliss. Nithyananda.
Nithyananda Dhyanapitham, Nithyananda Nagar off Mysore Road, Bidadi, Bengaluru. Phone 08027279999 www.nithyananda.org.
So now we'll move to the next year, the year of 2013. And on this day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism expanded on the Advaita, the non-dual space lived in being and doing. He told us that a glimpse of the Advaita is easy because it is being in the space of Advaita. We need to live Advaita in all our doing, in all our job, career, relationships, and every aspect of our life. Self-doubt, self-hatred, and self-denial eats away our experience of Advaita and must not be allowed in our system. So with this, let us listen from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
नित्यानन्देश्वर समारम्भाम् नित्यानन्देश्वरि मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. I welcome all the devotees, disciples, samajis, satsangis, Srimahans, Mahans, Kotaris, Tanedars, sitting with us all over the world through Nithyananda TV, Sadhana TV, two-way video conferencing, having Nayana Diksha. Cities sitting with us in two-way video conferencing, having Nayana Diksha. Singapore, Singapuram. Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, Parani, Indrani, New Jersey, San Jose, Madurai, St. Louis, Festus, Oklahoma, Somanatham, Nithyananda Nagar, Abididi, Houston, Kalahasti, Seattle, Chidambaram, Anaheim, California, Toronto, Kailasam, Vancouver, Bhubaneswar, Ohio, Prayag, Madurai, Dhyanapitham, Phoenix, Kanchipuram, Mumbai, Dharavi, New York, Varanasi, Guadalupe, Rameshwaram, Seremban, Shivakasi, Hebal, Bangalore, Erode, Adi Nithyananda Dhyanapitham, Hyderabad, Guptakashi, Colombo, Sri Lanka, Jorpati, Nepal, New York, Varanasi, Hong Kong, Sirgari, Abu Dhabi, High Pine, North Carolina, Sherman Oaks, California, Port Washington, New York, Dhyanapitham Huzur. I welcome all of you with my love and respects. Today I wanted to expand on the oneness, Advaita, the non-dual space, being and doing in both, establishing yourself in that non-dual space of Advaita. Listen, please listen. The non-dual space, the Advaita, need to be lived in being and doing. It's one of the most unfortunate things. Some of the traditions, the spiritual traditions, have given so much of importance to being in Advaita, they forgot as long as human body is alive, there will be doing also when the process, methodology, technique for doing without disturbing being in Advaita is not established. People lose Advaitic space. Understand? Today morning, when she was describing, one of our IA participants, she described that the non-dual space oneness happened, staying for weeks and weeks and weeks. Not for any brand promotion or pride. I am telling you, only an inner awakening participant can enjoy that space and experience that space. Because she was telling that I went to all types of techniques, methods, gurus, places, meditated. It never happened. Even if it happens, it will only give you the glimpse of being in Advaita. When your whole body is arrested, mind is arrested, you can have a glimpse of that light. That's all. But not just being in Advaita, being even while you are doing in Advaita only becomes Samadhi. Being even while you are doing in the space of Advaita only becomes Samadhi. That happens only when Master trains you to experience Advaita from in all aspects and in all dimensions of your life. Various dimensions of your life. You are not just the body. Body is one dimension of you. You are not just the mind. Mind is one dimension of you. Whatever you call as life, mostly your lifestyle only you call it as life. The way you eat, the way you dress, the way you house yourself, the way you act and react, your lifestyle. Your lifestyle is one of the dimension of you. And all the relationships you have, how you relate with people, how people relate with you. Infusing Advaita even in your relationships, in your lifestyle. The way you react and respond to wealth, the way you react and respond to relationships, the way you react and respond to crisis in your life, the way you react and respond to the survival threats, the way you react and respond to life in every dimension, everything, you need to be established in Advaita. You need to be in the space of Advaita. Be in the space of Advaita. Just giving you the glimpse of being in Advaita does not take me more than 10 minutes. Please understand. By 11th minute, I can put anybody. By 11th minute, I can put anybody. I can say within 11 minutes, I can put anybody in the space of Advaita in being. But being, unfortunately, becomes only one part of you. You are clouded, corrupt so much. I don't even want to use the word corrupt. I may want to use the word polluted. Corruption is more like knowingly doing. Pollution is more like imposed on you. Polluted so much with so many things. Just being in Advaita is not going to make you live enlightenment. Being in Advaita, even while you are doing, only that is going to make it happen. Only that is going to make it happen. Jivan Mukti is possible only then. And I am so happy. She has walked out of her self-doubts and self-hatred, self-denial so much. She has come out so much. She is able to hold herself up and say, I am living Jivan Mukti. I am proud of her. I am really proud of her. And I wanted you to know she is not lying. She is telling the truth. I was only afraid that slowly that SDHD may eat it away, but she's reached the completion level enough that not to allow SDHD to eat away. It is like how the Rahu and Ketu eat the sun and the moon. You need to know this modern day so-called space researchers and astronomers are saying, see, in the Indian astrology it is said that Rahu and Ketu eat sun and the moon. And these modern day astronomers go on abusing us, saying, no. There is no Rahu, no Ketu. Eats sun and the moon. It is there as it is. Only the shadow of the earth falls on moon, or the shadow of the moon falls on earth. That is what is eclipse. Please understand, these modern day astronomers, they may know the mass planets. Even that they are not very clear. What's the number, how many and all that. But in our Vedic tradition, we never considered the mass planets as grahas. The influence of those planets only we called as grahas. The energy they radiate, the energy they exert, the energy they radiate into the cosmos, into the universe, that only we called as graha. Please understand, during every eclipse, the Rahu's energy completely nullifies the energy radiated by moon or the sun. The Ketu's energy nullifies completely the energy radiated by the sun or the moon. No energy, no effect, whether good or bad, of the moon reaches the planet Earth during the eclipse. It's an energy phenomena. Our masters are talking about. Anyhow, just like how Rahu and Ketu eat sun and the moon, your SDHD, self-doubt, hatred, denial, eats away your experience of Advaita. The one and only way you can save yourself from the SDHD, self-doubt, hatred and denial, is living Advaita in your actions, being in Advaita not just while you are meditating or being, making it as a lifestyle, thinking style, the way you relate with others and yourself in your very doing. Understand? In your very doing. In every doing, the oneness, non-dual consciousness, the non-dual space, the Advaitic space of you is not something supposed to be experienced in your meditation alone. That is why some of the Vedantis who don't understand Vedanta, they go on saying, individual jiva you experience is nothing but Brahman. So whether being or action, the oneness has to be radiated, lived, experienced. The process yesterday was going on in the inner awakening, the 12th day process. Everyone experientially understood Jagat Mithya, whatever you see as the world is illusion. The moment one incompletion is triggered by somebody, then that's all. You don't see the world anymore. The world does not exist, only my world exists. That is what is meant by the great Mahavagya, Jagat Mithya. What you perceive as my world is Mithya. Because a small incompletion, the moment it got triggered, it gets triggered. A small incompletion, the moment it gets triggered, you stop seeing the world and you are deluded in my world. Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya. I don't disagree. Jagat Mithya. But that does not mean in your actions you will not radiate the truth Brahma Satyam. In your actions also you have to radiate the truth of oneness, non-dual consciousness. Every relationship, the attitudes you build towards every relationship, the attitudes you build towards your money, the attitudes you build towards your health, the attitudes you build towards the people around you, the situations around you, things around you, pets, plants, planets, everything around you should be from that same oneness and completion. Should be from that same non-dual consciousness. Only then you understand the third statement, important statement, Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. The individual self you experience is nothing but the cosmic consciousness. your SDHD will eat away even if I give you the glimpse of Nirvikalpa Samadhi just in your being level. Actually, during the unclutching initiation, all of you already had Nirvikalpa Samadhi. No doubt about it. Unless you have Nirvikalpa Samadhi, I don't leave you out of the room. That is the QC past, quality control pass. I do. The drilling in your Anandagandha has to happen with that pure consciousness. Naturally, it becomes Nirvikalpa Samadhi. But the real effects of Advaita happens in you only when that oneness starts radiating. Only when you radiate that oneness in your doing. While you are seeing your finance, your accounts, sitting with your auditor, do you feel that oneness without falling into the powerlessness? While you are sitting with a spouse and having a dinner or lunch, do you feel that oneness without falling into the powerlessness? When you are sitting with your team and discussing your corporate strategy, your office strategy, your consciousness, does your consciousness be established in that oneness and non-duality without falling into the powerlessness? Look in. Just your back pain disappearing is not the result of Advaita. All the pain which you have hidden in your back should disappear. Not just back pain disappearing. All the pains which you have put it in back has to disappear. Suddha-advaita Sugabodha Jnanam. The pure Advaitas, joyful influence and the wisdom which comes out of the completion. The joyful influence of Advaita is what I call perpetual completion. The joyful influence of Advaita is what I call Sagaja Samadhi. The blissful influence of Advaita in your every step of life, which can't be eaten away by SDHD, is what I call Nithyananda. So, biggest enemy for living Advaita, biggest enemy for Advaita in your doing, in your actions, is your SDHD. Self-doubt, self-hatred, self-denial. Your SDHD is the biggest enemy, biggest Ragu and Ketu who swallows sun and the moon. Sun is Advaita in being, moon is Advaita in action. Rahu is your SDHD, Ketu is self-blackmailing pattern. Rahu is SDHD, Ketu is SB. Self-blackmailing pattern. Please understand, when these two eats your being in Advaita and living in Advaita, you forget that you are Jivan Mukta. You live Advaita. And I really felt bad when I listened to Madhuri's sharing. I'm so happy. Finally, she found her living enlightenment, which is not getting lost, which is continuously living. But I feel so bad. In Indian tradition, Vedic tradition, somebody has to struggle for 17 years to achieve this experience. Have we become so enlightenment poor? No poverty takes away our pride. We Sanatana Hindu Dharmis are pride about our poverty. Understand, go to any village, the amount of pride people carry about their poverty. We are proud of our poverty, but not of this poverty where 17 years somebody has to search for having living Advaita. I tell you, the Rahu and Ketu for the Vedic tradition is all the lifestyle patterns which strengthened our SDHD. The Macaulay's education, which took away our clarity about Advaita. The colonial mental setup, is our SDHD. Self-doubt, hatred, denial. It is this colonial mental setup took away our Advaita from us, I tell you. First of all, we never had poverty till we have been swindled by all these invaders. Till 17th century, we were the richest country in the world. We never had poverty. The poverty was imposed on us to break our confidence. The artificial famines created by the British Empire, how they broke our backbone by creating artificial poverty. The Bengal famine was planned by British. Around 17 famines we had to go through, which was never part of our Vedic tradition. Only in the colonial periods, under the invaders, we went through 17 major famines where millions were killed. It is just to break our confidence on our Vedic tradition, on our lifestyle, on our thinking pattern. I tell you, that is the way they inserted SDHD, self-doubt, self-hatred, self-denial into us. They swindled the country. Ships and ships of gold from this country has been shipped out. And then they start the missionaries and charity, giving few pennies back to us in the name of missionary and charity, to take away our confidence.
Nityanam everyone. So with this we come to the end of today's segment of Bhava Samadhi Darshan. We'll now be moving to the alive darshan of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. So we request all the participants, all the viewers who are watching us live through YouTube, please sit straight and let us get ready to receive the darshan of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. I request all of you to sit straight and close your eyes. Let's get into meditative space to receive the darshan of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
Paramashiva's message directly from Kailasa. Listen. Among the 7 dimensions of the time, space before the past, past merging into the present, present evolving as future, future merging into the space beyond future. So totally in the 7, the space before the past and the space after the future is established in Nityatva, eternity, past, present, see, listen, past becoming present, present evolving as future, future. This 5 is Nirantaratva. In this Nirantaratva 5, only the present moment touches Nityatva. So, if you want to enter into Nityatva, voluntarily, if you want to break this Kala Chakra consciously, the door is open only in the present. The cumulative effect of all the practices you did and the initiations you received enters into the present. And makes you experience Nityatva. Listen. I wanted all of you to remember the cognitions I gave about Nityatva and Nirantaratva. Nityatva is 7, Nirantaratva is 5. Nityatva is all the 7 put together. Nirantaratva is this 5. In this 5, only in the present moment you touch eternity. Before the past, if you enter into that space, you can touch eternity. Through completing with all your past, you can reach that. Sometimes it may take even few janmas to reach that. And through the future, you can reach the space beyond the future by constantly being in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, burning all your desires and
patterns which want to repeat itself, you can reach. Again, that also sometimes may take few janmas. But entering into that Nityatva can happen in the present moment just through initiation. Remember the definition and the revelation about Nityatva. Remember the truth about Nirantaratva. Remember the next statement I made. You can reach into Nityatva by going before the past. You may need to complete the past. By completion, you may enter into a space before the past. You can enter that way. That is also one path. There is another one path where you can enter into the Nityatva by exhausting all your future. By being in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, you burn all desires, all seeds, all bijas which can manifest your future, all karmas burnt. And then you enter the beyond future space, Nityatva. That is also possible. But both will take few births to achieve. But you can enter into the same Nityatva straight through initiation. See, I request all of you to watch this satsang and pen down at least 2 times. Make this as a homework so you can easily internalize every word I am uttering. At present, in this very moment, through initiation, I can put you into eternity, Nityatva. In this present, 3 things are going on inside you. The identity default you cherish. And the identity you consciously want to manifest. And the struggle between these two identities, your doubts, hatred, denial. Listen intensely. At this present moment, 3 things are going on inside you. 1, the identity you default cognize. 2, the identity you consciously want to manifest. 3, the struggle between these two, your self-doubt, self-hatred, self-denial, all these 3. I can cut across all these 3. Enter into your consciousness. Make your consciousness smell the beauty of Paramashiva, Nityatva. So you just wake up. You just get the taste. I tell you, smelling Paramashiva, waking up to Paramashiva, waking up to this highest. In this moment present, it can be done through the initiation. To understand, that is why always the ultimate manifests through initiation. Small things you can achieve on your own through tapas. But the ultimate is done only through initiation. It is only the transmission of lamp from fire. The fire is lit. From a lamp, living lamp, another lamp is lit. So now I'll manifest the initiation. Parashodasi. Yesterday itself I described about Parashodasi. It's a visualization. Yesterday I was telling very clearly, just keep the Atmalinga in your hand. It will stand up by itself because, listen, Parashodasi is Paramashiva's own Shakti. When that visualization, initiation is done, Atmalinga will automatically just stand up. I saw in the social media flooded with the Sakshi Pramana of people just having an Atmalinga just standing on the hand. Few people I saw even it is levitating, means it is not even touching the hand. It is just in the sky, in the space. Listen. Next initiation will be Tripura Sundari. Before the Tripura Sundari initiation, I wanted to prepare all of you with these three: Parabrahma Swarupini Mahasaraswati, Parandama Swarupini Mahalakshmi, Paramashiva Swarupini Paramashakti. All these three put together is Mahatribura Sundari, Rajarajeshwari, Parapattariga, Mahakameshwari, Paramashiva Shakti. So before the Tripura Sundari initiation, I wanted to prepare you all with this Parashodasi once more. That is why I am repeating the initiation which I gave yesterday. Yesterday itself I saw so many of you experiencing the Atmalinga standing on your palms. Today I wanted to make it 100%. Whoever has Atmalinga, keep it in your palms and sit. See, that is the way we make sure that the initiation I am doing is entering into your inner space. Because I am using this Mahameru to reach out to you. And through your Atmalinga, your inner space will receive, and that inner space will enter into the present Nityatva. See, only through the present moment you can enter into Nityatva, eternity. You enter into the eternity, Nityatva, from where that Paramashivatva fully manifests. So it's a powerful process. Whoever Atmalinga is standing straight, be very clear, initiation is directly happening to you. And if it did not stand yesterday, today I'll make sure it stands. You don't need to do anything, because through your hard work, you can only make a few millions. Only if I gift it, it will come as trillions and zillions. Paramashivatva is like a zillion. So never you can make by your own hard work. Your hard work can be like you are prepared to receive, that's all. It has to be given. So you don't need to do anything now. Just sit comfortably with the Atmalinga. Alma Perez put a question that if I buy a Mahameru, will you energize it? Listen. Sri Chakras, three prastaras, Bhu Prastara, Meru Prastara, and Ardha Meru. Among these three, the most powerful is all these three put together is the Atmalinga. Please understand, Atmalinga is already carved with the Sri Chakra. All your Atmalingas are carved with the Sri Chakra. So it is Bhuprastara, Meru Prastara, Ardha Meru, all three put together is Linga Prastara. That's the way I've given you Atmalinga. So you don't need a separate Sri Chakra Mahameru, the eternally blissed. Alma Pares, I'm answering your question. She's asking, if I buy a Mahameru, will you please bless and energize? You don't need separately. Atmalinga is the ultimate Mahameru. Keep that in your palm and sit now. That will stand. Means you are getting initiated. Especially if it is levitating without even touching your palm. Be very clear. Already the Shodasi has started manifesting in you fully. All of you should know the Atmalinga given to you as a Sri Chakra carved on it. It's a Meru Prastara on Linga. In Sadashiva Sampradaya, this Sri Chakra Linga, Linga with Meru, is used to connect with Paramashiva and Paramashiva Shakti. So if you are having Atmalinga, that is enough. I can already see so many people experiencing. Sona Kamat's Atmalinga is standing. Sona, you will see that now the Linga will start levitating. It will not even be touching your hand. It will just raise. You can call your medical fraternity, your colleagues, doctors, and show, see, medically, can you define this? Because medically, they cannot explain something flying, which is, as per them, a non-living entity. But only we know Atmalinga is living energy. Atmalinga is living energy. Atmalinga has all the three. Paramashiva, Paramashiva Shakti, and Guru. All the three in one form. The whole cosmos in one form. It's literally the God particle. Hmm. So now you call all your medical fraternity and doctors and show them. They will be terrified and say, what is going on here? They will think you are a magician. Yes, I can see Ma Yogamalar. Calgary Yogamalar Atmalinga is standing. Yes, great. Hmm. So now I'll start the initiation. Listen. During the initiation, I'll give a small break and then again start. The break is not for you, for me, because the overflowing energy pushes me into that highest nirvikalpa samadhi, where it goes beyond the frequency which you can all handle. So at that time, I just settle and make sure that it is in the frequency where you can all receive it. So just for that, I give a small break and then start again. I'll give you a few minutes for you guys to pick up a cup of coffee, hot chocolate, tea, sit very comfortably. You can even stretch your leg on the couch. Be very comfortable. Stiram Sukham Asanam. See, for me, this Batmasana is the most comfortable. So I sit in the Batmasana. If you are comfortable with Batmasana, sit in Batmasana. Otherwise, don't worry. Sit in posture where you are comfortable. And keep the Atmalinga. You can even rest your hand. No problem. You don't need to be keeping your hand up. You can rest your hand and keep the Atmalinga comfortably. So, I can initiate now. Hmm? You can rest your hand, have a cup of tea or coffee or hot chocolate, and just don't sleep. Avoid sleeping, be fresh. That's all I need. I don't need anything else from you. And declare your integrity. Internally, if you declare your integrity and be, just tell consciously, I am ready to receive Paramashiva. Swamiji, please initiate me. Let Paramashiva and Paramashiva Shakti manifest in me. That's all. Hmm? Ami Lee is asking, does the initiation still work if not attending live, watching it afterwards? If you sit with that extreme sincerity without getting diverted and watch it fully, attend intensely, then it works. It all depends on how sincerely you sit. That's all. Hmm? So now I'll start.
யோகங்களும் கூடும் அம்மா ஆயிரம் उन शरणं 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 अम्मा श्री नित्यानंद दर्शिनिये उन शरणं 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 अम्मा श्री नित्यानंद पालिनिये उन शरणं 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 अम्मा श्री नित्यानंदायिनिये
जय पराशक्ति है भवानी जय 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 जगदम्बे रानी जय 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 पराशक्ति है भवानी जय 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 जगदम्बे रानी
Om, 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 Om. Mahaganapati, Ganapati, Maha Brahma Parabrahma, Vishnu Varandama, Rudra Paramarudra, Ishana Parameshan, Sadashi, Jnanaskanda, Mahakameshwari Sameda Mahakameshwara, Paramashiva Sameda Paramashiva Shakti, Om, 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 Om. Dvatasanta Paramashiva, Dvatasanta Paramashiva, Dvatasanta Paramashiva. Om, 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 Om. Om, Om,
शिवशक्त्या युक्तो
Om.
यदि भवति शक्तप्रभवितुं न
Om.
चेदेवं देवो न
Om.
खलु कुशलः स्पन्दितुमपि
Om.
अतस्त्वामाराध्यां हरिहरविरिञ्चादिभिरपि प्रणन्तुं स्तोतुं वा कथमकृतपुण्यप्रभवति तनीयां सम्पांसुं तव चरणपङ्क्तेरुहभवम्
Om.
विरिञ्चि सञ्चिन्वन्
Om.
विरचयति लोकानविकलम्
Om.
वहत्येनं शौरी
Om. Om.
वहत्येनं
Om.
शौरी कथमपि सहस्रेण शिरसां हरसं शुद्ध्यैनं भजति भासितो धूलनविधिम् तं चैतन्यस्तवगमकरन्दश्रुतिजरी दरिद्राणां चिन्तामणि गुणनिका जन्मजलधौ निमग्नानां दंष्ट्रामुररिपुवराहस्य भवति वदन्यपाणिभ्यामभयवरदो दैवतगण त्वमेका नैवासि प्रकटितवराभीत्यभिनया भयात्रातुं दातुं फलमपि च वाञ्छासमधिकम् शरण्ये लोकानां तव हि शरणावेव निपुणौ हरिस्त्वामाराध्य प्रणतजन सौभाग्यजननीं पुरानारी भूत्वा पुररिपुमपि क्षोभमनयत् सरोऽपि त्वां नत्वा प्रतिनयनलेहेन वपुषा मुनीनामभ्यन्त प्रभवति हि मोहायमर्हताम्
Om. 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 You don't need to do any visualization. You just have darshan of this Mahameru. That's enough. You can just focus on this Mahameru. Have darshan of this Mahameru. That is enough. You don't need to do any visualization, and through your visualization this initiation won't happen. This initiation is too strong, I'm making with the grace of Paramashiva and Ganapati and all the gods of Kailasa, I'm making the Paramashiva's very own being manifest in you with the Shakti, Paramashakti, Paramashiva Shakti. So just have darshan of this Meru, that's enough. Keeping Atmalinga in your hand is making sure that initiation happens in you. Many of you are asking to initiate your babies. Your babies I can surely initiate even if you ask, because they don't say no. Only if your kid is an adult, I need the kid's permission also. That kid should not say no, that's all. I'll initiate. Now sit with Atmalinga. Om. 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 Don't close your eyes, because if you close your eyes, you may doze off, you may fall asleep. Just keep your eyes open, fresh. Om. 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 Om.
Udyadbanu sahasrakoti sadrusham keyugarotsvalam bimboshtim vitakanta pankti ruchiram pitambaram
Kalyana Sundaram. I'll liberate your great grandmother Sudalai Vadivu. Don't worry. If she was holding Atmalinga, that's enough. I'll liberate her. Om. 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 Om.
Sevita padam tattva swarupam shivam Nityeshwarim pranatosmi santatamaham karunyavaram nidhim Nityeshwarim pranatosmi santatamaham karunyavaram nidhim Jagadishwari Parameshwari Nityeshwari Pahima Bhuvaneshwari Karuneshwari Nityeshwari Sadama Jagadishwari Parameshwari Nityeshwari Pahima Bhuvaneshwari Karuneshwari Nityeshwari Sadama मुक्ताहारलसत्किरीटरुचिरां पूर्णेन्दुवक्त्रप्रभां सिञ्चन्नूपुरकिङ्किणीमणिधरां पद्मप्रभाभासुरां मुक्ताहारलसत्किरीटरुचिरां पूर्णेन्दुवक्त्रप्रभां भुवनेश्वरि करुणेश्वरि देवेश्वरि प्रथमा जगदीश्वरि परमेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि पाणि मां भुवनेश्वरि करुणेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि दर्शमा जगदीश्वरि परमेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि पाहि मां भुवनेश्वरि करुणेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि दर्शमा श्रीविद्यां शिववामभागनिलयां ह्रीङ्कारमन्त्रोज्ज्वलां श्रीचक्राङ्कितबिन्दुमध्यवसति श्रीमत्सभानायकीं श्रीविद्यां शिववामभागनिलयां ह्रीङ्कारमन्त्रोज्ज्वलां श्रीचक्राङ्कितबिन्दुमध्यवसति श्रीमत्सभानायकीं श्रीमत्षण्मुखविघ्नराजजननी श्रीमज्जगन्मोहिनी नित्येश्वरीं प्रणतोऽस्मि सन्ततमहं कारुण्यवारानिधिं नित्येश्वरीं प्रणतोऽस्मि सन्ततमहं कारुण्यवारानिधिं जगदीश्वरि परमेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि पाहि मां भुवनेश्वरि करुणेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि दर्शमा जगदीश्वरि परमेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि पाहि मां भुवनेश्वरि करुणेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि दर्शमा जगदीश्वरि परमेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि पाहि मां भुवनेश्वरि करुणेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि दर्शमा जगदीश्वरि परमेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि पाहि मां भुवनेश्वरि करुणेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि दर्शमा श्रीमत्सुन्दरनायिकां भयकरां ज्ञानप्रदां निर्मलां श्यामां भां कमलासनार्चितपदां नारायणस्यानुजां श्रीमत्सुन्दरनायिकां भयकरां ज्ञानप्रदां निर्मलां श्यामां भां कमलासनार्चितपदां नारायणस्यानुजां वीणा वेणुमृदङ्गवाद्यरसिकां नानाविधाडम्बिकां नित्येश्वरीं प्रणतोऽस्मि सन्ततमहं कारुण्यवारानिधिं नित्येश्वरीं प्रणतोऽस्मि सन्ततमहं कारुण्यवारानिधिं जगदीश्वरि परमेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि पाहि मां भुवनेश्वरि करुणेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि दर्शमा जगदीश्वरि परमेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि पाहि मां भुवनेश्वरि करुणेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि दर्शमा जगदीश्वरि परमेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि पाहि मां भुवनेश्वरि करुणेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि दर्शमा जगदीश्वरि परमेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि पाहि मां भुवनेश्वरि करुणेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि दर्शमा नानायोगिमुनीन्द्रहृन्निवसतिं नानार्थसिद्धिप्रदां नानापुष्पविराजिताङ्घ्रियुगळां नारायणेनार्चितां नानायोगिमुनीन्द्रहृन्निवसतिं नानार्थसिद्धिप्रदां नानापुष्पविराजिताङ्घ्रियुगळां नारायणेनार्चितां नादब्रह्ममयीं परात्परतरां नित्येश्वरीं प्रणतोऽस्मि सन्ततमहं कारुण्यवारां नित्येश्वरीं प्रणतोऽस्मि सन्ततमहं कारुण्यवारां जगदीश्वरि परमेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि पाहि मां भुवनेश्वरि करुणेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि दर्शमा जगदीश्वरि नित्येश्वरि पाहि मां भुवनेश्वरि करुणेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि दर्शमा जगदीश्वरि परमेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि पाहि मां भुवनेश्वरि करुणेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि दर्शमा जगदीश्वरि परमेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि पाहि मां भुवनेश्वरि करुणेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि दर्शमा जगदीश्वरि परमेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि पाहि मां भुवनेश्वरि करुणेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि दर्शमा जगदीश्वरि परमेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि पाहि मां भुवनेश्वरि करुणेश्वरि नित्येश्वरि दर्शमा
वेदरूपिणी हिमगिरिवासिनी मनोन्मणि पापनाशिनी त्रिभुवनपोषिणी विशेषिणी ज्ञानदायिनी नित्यानन्देश्वरि जगदीश्वरि शरणं श्री नित्य नित्येश्वरि करुणसागरी कमलपुष्पनेत्रसुन्दरि कन्याकुमारी कामनाशिनी सुभाषिनी विश्वरूपिणी नित्यानन्देश्वरि शरणं सर्वेश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि शरणं सर्वेश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द जगदीश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द जगदीश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द जगदीश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द जगदीश्वरि स्वप्रकाशिनी जगच्चिन्त्यमानरूपिणी धर्मस्थापिनी मन्दहासिनी नित्यानन्देश्वरि परमेश्वरि शरणं श्री नित्य नित्येश्वरि महायोगिनी भक्तसङ्कटापहारिणि सभानायकी श्रीचक्रमध्यवासिनि दुःखहारिणि नित्यानन्देश्वरि शरणं सर्वेश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि शरणं सर्वेश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द जगदीश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द जगदीश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द जगदीश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द महाभयकरी ह्रीङ्कारबीज अक्षरी सदाशिवकरी सत्कृपाकटाक्षसागरी मीराभयकरी नित्यानन्देश्वरि भुवनेश्वरि शरणं श्री नित्य नित्येश्वरि महाराजिनी नित्यसिंहासनेश्वरि मधुरभाषिनी भुक्तिमुक्तिशक्तिदायिनि मङ्गलेश्वरि नित्यानन्देश्वरि शरणं सर्वेश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि शरणं सर्वेश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द जगदीश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं
Om.
चक्रराजिनी नित्यमूलमन्त्रात्मिनि मूलाधारिणी सुधासाराभिवर्षिणि सहस्रकारिणी नित्यानन्देश्वरि करुणेश्वरि शरणं श्रीनित्य नित्येश्वरि भक्तप्रेमिणी नित्यभावनागम्येश्वरि शक्तिरूपिणी शर्वाणि शर्वदायिनि निराकारिणी नित्यानन्देश्वरि शरणं सर्वेश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि शरणं सर्वेश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द जगदीश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द जगदीश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द जगदीश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द जगदीश्वरि निर्विकारिणी नित्यमुक्तनिष्प्रपञ्चिनि निष्कळङ्किनी निर्मोहमोहनाशिनि निर्विकल्पिनी नित्यानन्देश्वरि हृदयेश्वरि शरणं श्रीनित्य नित्येश्वरि त्रिपुरसुन्दरी महामन्त्रतन्त्ररूपिणि सुगुणभूषणी सुप्रभावचारुहासिनि परमानन्दिनी नित्यानन्देश्वरि शरणं सर्वेश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि शरणं सर्वेश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द जगदीश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द जगदीश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द जगदीश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द जगदीश्वरि चारुरूपिणी श्री भैरवि भगमालिनि क्षेमदायिनी नित्य भगवति पद्मासनि भुवन ईश्वरी नित्यानन्देश्वरि विश्वेश्वरि शरणं श्री नित्य नित्येश्वरि नादरूपिणी राकेन्दुवदन रञ्जनि साधुलक्षिणी नित्यानन्दपुरि निवासिनि कामकेशिनी नित्यानन्देश्वरि शरणं सर्वेश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि शरणं सर्वेश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द जगदीश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द जगदीश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द जगदीश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द विश्वसाक्षिणी नित्यवेदवेद्यरूपिणि तत्त्वासनी पञ्चकोशान्तरस्थापिनि नित्ययौवनी नित्यानन्देश्वरि दुर्गेश्वरि शरणं श्री नित्य नित्येश्वरि सूरनायकी नित्यसुमुखि सूक्ष्मरूपिणि विघ्ननाशिनी देवि सर्वव्याधिप्रशमनि मित्ररूपिणी नित्यानन्देश्वरि शरणं सर्वेश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि शरणं सर्वेश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द जगदीश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द जगदीश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द जगदीश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द जगदीश्वरि ज्ञानगर्भिणी नित्यवाणी वागधीश्वरि सत्स्वरूपिणी ज्ञानध्यानदानकारिणि राज्यदायिनी नित्यानन्देश्वरि परमेश्वरि शरणं श्री नित्य नित्येश्वरि आनन्देश्वरि नित्य सर्वलोकव्यापिनि नित्य प्रेमिणि नित्य आनन्ददायिनि ज्ञानरूपिणि नित्य आनन्देश्वरि चरणं सर्वेश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि चरणं सर्वेश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द जगदीश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द जगदीश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द जगदीश्वरि नित्येश्वरि शरणं नित्यानन्द जगदीश्वरि अम्बकदम्बवनस्थिरवासिनि अम्बुजलोचनि अमरनुते अतिमृतभाषिणि अमृतकटाक्षिणि आश्रितरक्षिणि हरसहिते अम्बकदम्बवनस्थिरवासिनि अम्बुजलोचनि अमरनुते अतिमृतभाषिणि अमृतकटाक्षिणि आश्रितरक्षिणि हरसहिते सम्बरवैरि सदार्चितचरण सरोरुहनूपुरश्रुतिविनुते सम्बरवैरि सदार्चितचरण सरोरुहनूपुरश्रुतिविनुते जय जय हे नित्येश्वरि शङ्करि नित्यपुरिनायकि पालय माम् जय जय हे नित्येश्वरि शङ्करि नित्यपुरिनायकि पालय माम् नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि पालय माम् नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि पालय माम् सुन्दरवामशरीरणि सुललित वेशिनि लम्बोदर जननी सुन्दरवाम शरीरणि सुललित वेशिनि लम्बोदर जननी सुरपति पूजित पदकमले कल हंस समान मृदुदमनी सुरपति पूजित पदकमले कल हंस समान मृदुदमनी सन्दन सर्चित कुशमण्डल मणिभूषणि मन्मन पयसमनी सन्दन सर्चित कुशमण्डल मणिभूषणि मन्मन भयसमनी जय जय हे नित्येश्वरि शङ्करि नित्यपुरिनायकि पालय माम् जय जय हे नित्येश्वरि शङ्करि नित्यपुरिनायकि पालय माम् नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि पालय माम् नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि पालय माम्
ओम ओम
इक्षुको दण्ड पशाङ्कुश पञ्च कुसुमासरशोभित करकमले इक्षुको दण्ड पशाङ्कुश पञ्च कुसुमासरशोभित करकमले लक्षस्थल अलङ्कृत पीताम्बर कुञ्जुगधारिणि अति विमले वक्षस्थलाशिनि अपार करुणामय लीले अक्षररूपिणि आत्मप्रकाशिनि अपार करुणामय लीले जय जय हे नित्येश्वरि शङ्करि नित्यपुरि नायकि पालय माम् जय जय हे नित्येश्वरि शङ्करि नित्यपुरि नायकि पालय माम् नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि 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 पालय माम् हिन्दु त्रिकोण श्री चक्र निवासिनि ब्रह्म विष्णु पूजित चरणे बिन्दु त्रिकोण श्री चक्र निवासिनि ब्रह्म विष्णु पूजित चरणे बिल्वार्चन प्रिय शिव हृदयेश्वरि बृहन्नायकि भवभयहरणे बिल्वार्चन प्रिय शिव हृदयेश्वरि बृहन्नायकि भवभयहरणे मन्दगमनि मधुसूदन सोदरि मातङ्गी मरगदवर्णे मन्दगमनि मधुसूदन सोदरि मातङ्गी मरगदवर्णे जय जय हे नित्येश्वरि शङ्करि नित्यपुरि नायकि पालय माम् जय जय हे नित्येश्वरि शङ्करि नित्यपुरि नायकि पालय माम् नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि 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 पालय माम् केशालङ्कृत किरीट शोभित पासमान लावण्यमुखे केशालङ्कृत किरीट शोभित पासमान लावण्यमुखे केयूरकुण्डल कटक गङ्गणमणि हार सुशोभित कण्ठयुगे केयूरकुण्डल कटक कङ्गणमणि हार सुशोभित कण्ठयुगे वासमघोषर वैभव सुचरिते वासव पूजित चरणयुगे वासमघोषर वैभव सुचरिते वासव पूजित चरणयुगे जय जय हे नित्येश्वरि शङ्करि नित्यपुरि नायकि पालय माम् जय पालय माम् नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि पालय माम् विराजित पन्नग वेणिरलङ्कृत चन्द्रधरे परिमळ पुष्प विराजित पन्नग वेणिरलङ्कृत चन्द्रधरे भाग्यप्रदान सीमन्त सिन्दूर अरुणोदय भास्कर रूपधरे भाग्यप्रदान सीमन्त सिन्दूर अरुणोदय भास्कर रूपधरे सरिगमपदनी सप्तस्वर संगीत नन्द विनोदकरे सरिगमपदनी सप्तस्वर संगीत नन्द विनोदकरे जय जय हे नित्येश्वरि शङ्करि नित्यपुरि नायकि पालय मां जय जय हे नित्येश्वरि शङ्करि नित्यपुरि नायकि पालय मां नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि पालय मां नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि पालय मां नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि पालय मां नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि ईश्वरि पालय मां नित्य नित्येश्वरि
Om.
नित्येश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि पालय मां नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि नित्य नित्येश्वरि पालय मां नित्य नित्येश्वरि पालय मां नित्य नित्येश्वरि पालय मां
Om. 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 As a living incarnation, Paramavatara of Paramashiva, I bless you all to experience Parashodasi. With this, I bless you all to radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching, causing, living Shuddhatvaita Saivam, Paramadvaitam, the state, space, powers, being, superconsciousness, and Kailasa, Maha Kailasa of Paramashiva. Paramashivoham Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, the eternal bliss Nithyananda. Thank you. Be blissful.